Alright everybody, welcome to the demo scene for the Imp Pack PBR. We've got audio for the animations now, so that's an update. That's why I'm making a new video for this. Different lighting setup so you can see what the imp will look like in various lighting conditions. We'll keep it on daytime for now. We've got lots of customization options for the textures. A lot. He's got no wardrobe, but he does have the option to turn off his wings, turn off the tail, turn off the horns, so you can create different looks from that. Most of his animations do rely on the wings though, so you might want to keep that or add some magical particles to make him float and be a floaty. So we've got 4 different body textures. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so we can see that better. We have 4 different body textures and a bunch of preset color options you can use. So this is the default texture, and then we've got different bodies here. And then you can use all of these if you'd like. You can customize this in the editor. It's very easy to create your own looks, create looks that work better for your game, to mix and match things. Everything is customizable. If you don't want to customize it, use ours, that's fine. But I always suggest people customize it because in the end you can get a much better look that matches your sensibilities, your style for your game or your scene. So there's a lot you can do with that. Let's see, you got blend shapes here, which is pretty cool. These are just some options. Blend shapes are something that you can actually, it's probably better if I just do it in the editor. Alright, so this is the imp in the editor. We have some really cool new things going on here. The first thing is that you can now randomize everything. By default, the randomized settings are set to 0 to 0. So you want to set max range. If you want to randomize everything, then you can just click this and just randomize everything. Every little option for the blend shapes will be randomized. You'll get some weird looks out of this though, because there are some things that you don't necessarily want an imp with super tiny arms and a giant head necessarily. You might, but if you don't, you probably don't want to. So, and that's where if we reset the values, this the randomized random range comes into play. So like, let's see, for the head size, right here, this makes the head bigger and smaller. I'm just clicking the random button here, but you can change this slider. There's a slider here. Change the slider up and down. So in many cases you don't necessarily want to change the head size. So for that, we're just going to set the randomize to 0 to 0. That way it won't actually change for the randomization. And the same thing with like the arm length, the arm size here. If we bring it all the way down and we bring the muscle all the way down, that gets really small. So on the downside, let's just find a level that we say, okay, it's fine. That's the smallest it could possibly be. We'll set this to negative 35. Oops, can't type. And this one to negative 45. And then on the flip side, you can go to the large and make sure that, okay, yeah, that's actually a little bit too muscular for the muscle. So I'll bring the muscles down to, say, 41 and bring that down to, 50. So now 43. Set this to 50. And so now when I randomize these, when I randomize all of these bodies, the arm will stay within those values. Everything else will be randomized to its, maximum amount, but those arms will stay between the range values. And the best part is that if you say, okay, I want to, every time I spawn a new imp character, I want to randomize all the options just by basically setting this at the beginning of, every time it's spawned. So if we like this look that we've created, we can save it as a preset file. So we can just save it as a demo preset and export that. It saves it in this folder right here, this preset files folder, and you see all the numbers here. So those are all the values for the different body parts. And then in our preset files, I can just load that right here by bringing it into this thing, and then click the load preset, and it will load. So if I go back to the default, click the load preset, it will load my preset file. This is something that can be scripted as well. There's all the instructions in the code, so you can code this at runtime to load the preset to do basically what I'm doing with this button does. It's very quick, and the then we can go beyond that. Instead of this option right here, we have do not record, record value, or random on load. So if we want, we can set them all to be random. So toggle all to be random, and now when we click the export value, well, demo random, when we click the export values as preset, the demo random will have random values for everything. So if we bring that into our preset files, every time we load that preset, it will randomize the options. So the benefit of that is that you could, if you only want to change, say, the face, so that every face is different, but the body shape is always going to be the same, you can go back into your Imp demo here, blend shapes. For all of them, say exclude, so they do not get recorded. Let me reset the values to everything. Okay. Yeah, so nothing's being recorded right now. So if we export a preset, the preset won't do anything. But you can find your face sections right here, and beyond right here, and we just say random on load. Oops. Random on load, random on load. We can set that for all of the face options. And now when we export the random face, we'll call it random face, export that preset. If we look at the values, it's mostly stars, which means it will be ignored, and then lots of randoms for the faces. Load that into our preset files, and every time we load that preset, it'll just modify the face. So perhaps every time that the character is loaded, he gets a brand new face. So there's a lot you can do with that. Let me show you what it looks like at runtime. Alright, so there's his face. If we load the presets, we can call this via scripting. You don't have to use the button. You can actually script this, which is what I've done down here. So you can use my code in the demo scene if you'd like. But every time we load, oops, where'd it go? Every time we load this preset, he gets a brand new face. So there's a lot you can do with this. It's pretty powerful, especially if you want to have lots of different looking characters in your game rather than having a whole bunch of, you know, imps that all look exactly the same. You can randomize this while also randomizing the different body textures and so on. So there's a lot you can do with that. So let's talk about the animations now and the audio to go with them. So we have our walk animations. The footsteps are made up of 3 different sounds that are randomized at runtime. You can combine them into individual .wav files if you don't want to have randomized sounds and you prefer just to have just a few footstep sounds. Walk backwards is the same. He does turn. You can mix and match the turning a little bit with the walking. You have a little finesse between the two, so you can walk forward and also turn at the same time. Or you can just turn almost in place. Now I cut the audio out from the turn because if you do mix and match the footstep sounds, you don't want to have too many footstep sounds. So that's something you'll want to code for yourself when the time comes for it. And we have our idle break. There are a lot of options for the sound here that are being chosen randomly, so if you don't like one vocalization, you can always exclude it from the list. It won't be included. So there you go, there's a lot you can do with the Imp. The blend shapes are pretty cool, where you can really customize these and make them, you know, just really different options, different looks. That I mean, there's just a lot you can do with it to make your game more unique. So if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.